Bless up, Kerr. Oh. What happened last week? Remember last week? Oh. I remember last week. Last week was an entire recap of the last 3 books that we read. And I hope that's coming to an end real quick. Real quickly, like. A summary of the last 3 books somehow lasted 2 hours to read 7 chapters. Bunch of sinners stopped believing in the God, and God punished them by not giving them any land promised to them. 10 Commandments. Love the Lord. Fear the Lord. Follow the Lord and do not follow other lords. God commanded the Hebrew people, raise up arms and take what is yours, enter the land that is promised to you and kill everybody in it, and then claim it for yourself. Plunder the land. Plunder it good. Steal everything. No man, woman, or children alive. Kill them all. Pretty much. Our God, the Lord, who took us up out of Egypt, saved us from being slaves, dragged us through the desert, rewarded us by, when we complained, sent plagues upon us, had us wander through the desert for 40 years because we questioned him. Can I just say, I love the Lord? You may say that. And in fact, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I'm really glad you brought it up. I love the Lord too. Don't we all? I hope none of you have been working on Sunday, because as you know, Sunday is the Lord's day, and we rest on Sunday because the Lord, He wills it, He commands. No work on a Sunday. Sorry, Mummy, I can't do the dishwasher today. I don't work on a Sunday. Sorry, Mummy, I can't do any chores. The Lord here commands I do not do anything. And I sit and be a potato today. Blessed morning, Manuka. Blessed morning, Adusty. Shall we begin? Deuteronomy 8, chapter 8. Luckily, I can't talk to my mum because it's been less than 4 days since her last period, so she's unclean. Very good, very good. Very good practice. We love that. And the Lord, He loves you for that. Be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, so that you may live and increase, and may enter and possess the land the Lord promised on oath to your ancestors. This is God talking to Moses. And a recap of the last books. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. 40 years of your life. How would you guys feel if you spent 40 years of your life wandering in the desert? To humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Luckily, that's how I felt before I met you. I don't, what? Wandering in the desert for 40 years? Good. He humbled you, causing you to hunger, and then feeding you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. I thank you, Lord, for having me wander in the desert to teach me to be humble, for I was not humble before and ate only bread. I did not know the grace that was eating manna, rewarding me with a tasty meal for my 40 years served in the desert wandering. Your clothes did not wear out and your feet did not swell during these 40 years. Oh, well, I guess that's one thing. Know then in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so the Lord your God disciplines you. Observe the commands of your Lord, the Lord your God, walking in obedience to him and revering him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with brooks, streams, and deep springs gushing out into the valley and hills. A land with wheat and barley, vines and fig trees, pomegranates, olive oil, and honey. A land where bread will not... Did they have bees in the desert? I don't think the desert is a good environment for the bees. A land where bread will not be scarce, and you will lack nothing. A land where the rocks are iron, and you can dig copper out of the hills. When you have eaten and you are satisfied, praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. Be careful that you do not forget the Lord your God, failing to observe his commands, his laws, and his decrees that I am giving you this day. Otherwise, when you eat, you are satisfied. When you build fine houses and settle down, and when your herds and flocks grow large, and your silver and gold increase, and all you have is multiplied, then your heart will become proud, and you will forget the Lord your God who brought you up out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. He led you through the vast and dreadful wilderness, that thirsty and waterless land. With its venomous snakes and scorpions, he brought you water out of a hard rock. He gave you manna to eat in the wilderness, something your ancestors had never known, to humble and test you, so that in the end it might go well with you. You may say to yourself, my power and the strength of my hands have produced this wealth for me. But remember, the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms his covenant, which he swore to your ancestors as it is today. If you forget the Lord your God and follow other gods and worship and bow down to them, I testify against you today that you will surely be destroyed. Like the nations The Lord destroyed before you, so you will be destroyed for not obeying the Lord your God. Hear, Israel, you are now about to cross the Jordan to go into and dispossess nations greater and stronger than you, with large cities that have walls up to the sky. The people are strong and tall. Anakites, you know about them and have heard it said, who can stand up against the Anakites? But be assured today that the Lord your God is one who goes across ahead of you like a devouring fire. He will destroy them. He will subdue them before you, and you will drive them out and annihilate them quickly, as the Lord has promised you. After the Lord your God has driven them out before you, do not say to yourself, the Lord has brought me here to take possession of this land because of my righteousness. No. It is on account of the wickedness of this nation that the Lord is going to drive them out before you. I like this book a lot more. It reads a lot better than the other ones. It is not because of your righteousness or your integrity that you are going in to take possession of their land, but on your account of the wickedness of these nations, the Lord your God will drive them out before you to accomplish what he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand then that it is not because of your righteousness that the Lord your God is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember this, and never forget how you aroused the anger of the Lord your God in the wilderness. From the day you left Egypt until you arrived here, you have been rebellious against the Lord. At Horeb, you aroused the Lord's wrath so that he was angry enough to destroy you. When I went... I'm a good boy. Well, if you're a good boy and will not arouse the anger of the Lord. When I went up onto the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord, look up at the ceiling. The Lord has made with you. I stayed. The Lord's... I'm lost. At Horeb, when I went up onto the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord had made with you, the Lord's wrath, so that he was angry enough to destroy you. When I went up to the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that the Lord had made with you, I stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water. The Lord gave me two stone tablets and inscribed by finger of the God. Or on them were all the commandments the Lord proclaimed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. At the end of the 40 days and 40 nights, the Lord gave me the 2 stone tablets, the tablets of the covenant. Then the Lord told me, go down from here at once, because your people whom you've brought out of Egypt have become corrupt. They have turned away quickly from what I commanded them and have made an idol for themselves. And if you remember, God doesn't like idols. His anger arouses. Not supposed to do that. And the Lord said to me, I have seen these people, and they are stiff-necked people indeed. Let me alone, so that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make you into a nation stronger and more numerous than they are. So I turned and went down from the mountain while it was ablaze with fire, and the 2 stone tablets of the covenant were in my hands. When I looked, I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God. Do not curse in the house of the Lord, church. He is a jealous God. He has said numerous times, God himself has said numerous times, I am a jealous God. Do not make idols of false gods, because I am the only God, and you shall worship me, because I am a jealous God. So when I saw that you had sinned against the Lord your God, you had made for yourself an idol cast in the shape of a calf. You had turned aside quickly from the way that the Lord had commanded you. So I took 2 tablets and threw them out of my hands, breaking them into pieces before your eyes. Then once again I fell prostrate before the Lord for 40 days and 40 nights. I ate no bread and drank no water because of all the sin you had committed, doing what is evil in the Lord's sight, and so arousing his anger. Couldn't sit tight for 40 days. Couldn't help yourself to just make a calf of gold. An idol. Gold or just a rock, whatever. I feared the anger and the wrath of the Lord, for he was angry enough with you to destroy you. But again, the Lord listened to me. And the Lord was angry enough with Aaron to destroy him. But at that time, I prayed for Aaron too. Also, I took that sinful thing of yours, the calf you had made, and burned it in the fire. Then I crushed it and ground it to powder as fine as dust, and threw the dust into a stream that flowed down the mountain. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, at Massa, and at Kibroth Hattava. And when the Lord sent you out from Kadesh Barnea, he said, go up and take possession of the land I have given you. But you rebelled, and against the command of the Lord your God, you did not trust him or obey him. It is not because of your righteousness or your indignity that you are going to take. Hold on. You have been rebellious against the Lord ever since I have known you. I lay prostrate before the Lord for those 40 days and 40 nights because the Lord had said he would destroy you. I prayed to the Lord and said, Sovereign Lord, do not destroy your own people, your own inheritance, that you redeemed by your great power and brought up out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Overlook the stubbornness of the people, their wickedness, their sin. Otherwise the country from which you brought us will say, because the Lord was not able to take them into the land he had promised them, and because he hated them, he brought them out to put them to death in the wilderness. But they are your people, your inheritance that you brought out by your great power and your outstretched arm. At the time, the Lord said to me, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and come up to me on the mountain. Also make a wooden ark. I will write on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Then you are to put them in the ark. So I made the ark out of acacia wood and chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and went up the mountain with the 2 tablets in my hands. The Lord wrote on these tablets.
Blessed morning, Manuka.
Blessed morning, Joe. Kill zombies. Good morning. The Lord wrote on these tablets what he had written before, the 10 commandments he had proclaimed to you on the mountain, out of the fire, on the day of the assembly, and the Lord gave them to me. Then I came back down the mountain and put the tablets in the ark I had made as the Lord commanded me, and they are there now. The Israelites traveled from the wells of Abin, Jacan, and Moserah. There Aaron died and was buried, and Eleazar, his son, succeeded him as priest. From there they traveled to Gudgodah and on to Jotbatha, a land with streams of water. At that time the Lord set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord, to minister and produce blessings in his name, as they still do today. That is why the Levites have no share in inheritance among their fellow Israelites. The Lord is their inheritance, as the Lord your God told them. Now I had stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, as I did the first time, and the Lord listened to me at this time also. It was not his will to destroy you. Go, the Lord said to me, and lead the people on their way, so that they may enter and possess the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. And now, Israel, what does the Lord God ask of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to love him, to serve him, the Lord your God, with all your heart and with all your soul. So, where is the soul? Right here. Your soul. And to observe the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today for your own good? For your own good? Question mark. To the Lord your God belong the heavens. To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest heavens, the earth, and everything in it. Yet the Lord set his affection on your ancestors, and he loved them, and he chose you, their descendants, above all nations, as it is today. Circumcise your hearts, therefore, and do not be stiff-necked any longer. For the Lord your God is God of gods, and the Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow, and he loves the foreigner residing among you, giving them food and clothing. And you are to love those who are foreigners, for you yourself were foreigners in Egypt. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is the one you praise. He is the God who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes. Your ancestors who went down into Egypt were 70 in all, and now the Lord your God has made you as numerous as the stars in the sky. Hi Ada, good morning. Blessed morning. Love the Lord your God and keep his requirements, his decrees, his law, and his commands always. Remember today that your children were not the ones who saw and experienced the discipline of the Lord your God, his majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, the signs he performed and the things he did in the heart of Egypt, both to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his whole country. What he did to the Egyptian army, to his horses and chariots, how he overwhelmed them with the waters of the Red Sea as they were pursuing you, and how the Lord brought lasting ruin on them. Are you sure, buddy, the book you hold is the right Bible? Yes. Yes, this is the Bible. This is the Old Testament Bible. It was not your children who saw what he did for you in the wilderness until you arrived at this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab the Reubenite, when the earth opened its mouth right in the middle of Israel and swallowed them up with their households, their tents, and every living thing that belonged to them. But it was your own eyes that saw all these great things the Lord had done. Observe, therefore, all the commands I am giving you today, so that you may have the strength to go in and take over the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess, and so that you may live long in the land the Lord swore to your ancestors to give to him and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt, from which you have come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot as in the vegetable garden. But the land you are crossing the Jordan, milk and honey, the land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt from which you have come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot, as in a vegetable garden. But the land you are crossing the Jordan to take possession of is a land of mountains and valleys that drinks rain from heaven. It is a land the Lord your God cares for. The eyes of the Lord your God are continually on it from the beginning of the year to the end. God are continually on it. So you finally obey the commands I am giving you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with your soul. Then I will send rain onto the land in its seasons, both autumn and spring rains, so that you may gather in your grain, new wine and olive oil. I will provide grass in the field for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. Then the Lord's anger will burn against you, and he will shut up the heavens, so that it will not rain, and the ground will yield no produce, and you will soon perish from the good land the Lord is giving you. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds, tie them as symbols on your hands, and bind them on your foreheads. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the door frames of your house and your gates, so that your days, that's the mezuzah. That's what the mezuzah, they put little Bibles in them rolled up to protect the house from the harsh environment and criminals. The Hebrew people are immune to break-ins and house fires, by the way. So that your days and the days of your children may be many in the land the Lord swore to give. Lord swore to give. Lord to give your ancestors as many as the days that the heavens are above the earth. If you carefully observe all these commands I am giving you to follow to the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him and to hold fast to him, then the Lord will drive out all of these nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. Every place it's me. I'm dressed up as Luce from Vatican. Vatican, the poster child of the Vatican. If you then the Lord will drive out all these nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. I thought Lebanon was in Persia. Is Lebanon in Persia? And from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea, no one will be able to stand against you. The Lord, your God, as he promised you, will put the terror and fear of you on the whole land, wherever you go. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. The curse if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn from the way that I command you today by following other gods which you have not known. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings, and on Mount Ebal the curses. As you know, these mountains are across the Jordan, westward toward the setting sun, near the great trees of Moreh, in the territory of those Canaanites living in the Arabah in the vicinity of Gilgal. You are about to cross the Jordan to enter and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you, when you have taken it over and are living there. Be sure that you obey all the decrees and laws I am setting before you today. These are the decrees and laws you must be careful to follow in the land that the Lord your God of your ancestors has given you to possess, as long as you live in the land. Destroy completely all the places on the high mountains, on the hills, and under every spreading tree, where the nations you are disposing worship their gods. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and burn their Asherah poles in the fire. Cut down their idols of their gods and wipe out their names from those places. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, but you are to seek the place that the Lord your God will choose from among your tribes to put his name there for his dwelling. To that place you must go. There bring your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, what you have vowed to give, and your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks. There, in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your family shall eat and shall rejoice in everything that you have put your hand to, because the Lord your God has blessed you. You are not to do as we do here today, everyone doing as they see fit, since you have not reached the resting place and the inheritance the Lord your God is giving you. But you will cross the Jordan and settle in the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. And he will give you rest from all your enemies around you, so that you will live in safety. Then to the place the Lord your God will choose as a dwelling for his name, there you are to bring everything I command you. your burnt offerings and sacrifices, your tithes and special gifts, and all the choice possessions you have vowed to the Lord. Yes. And there rejoice before the Lord, you, your sons and your daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns who have known no allotment or inheritance of their own. Be careful not to sacrifice your burnt offerings anywhere you please. Offer them only at the place the Lord will choose in one of your tribes, and there observe everything I command you. Nevertheless, you may slaughter your animals in any of the towns and eat as much of the meat as you want, as if it were gazelle or deer, according to the blessing the Lord your God gives you, both ceremonially unclean and clean. The clean may eat it, but you must not eat the blood. Pour it on the ground like water. You must not eat in your own towns the tithe of your grain and new wine and olive oil, or the firstborn of your herds and flocks, or whatever you have vowed to give, or your free will offerings or special gifts. Instead, you are to eat them in the presence of the Lord your God, at the place the Lord your God will choose. You, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levites from your towns. You are to rejoice before the Lord your God in everything you put your hand to. Be careful not to neglect the Levites as long as you live in your land. When the Lord your God has enlarged your territory as he promised you, and you crave meat and say, I would like some meat, then you may eat as much as you want. If the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far away from you, you may slaughter animals from the herds and flocks the Lord has given you, as I commanded you, and in your own towns you may eat as much of it as you want. Eat them as you would gazelle or deer. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat. But be sure, do not eat the blood, because the blood is the life, and you must not eat the life with the meat. So maybe like every time you eat an animal and you eat their blood, you're eating their life blood, like their soul, and they don't get to go to heaven or be reborn as a new animal to be eaten. Recycle your animals. You pour it onto the ground so that the blood may enter the earth and grow a new animal. Do not eat it, so that it may go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is right in the eyes of the Lord. But take your consecrated things and whatever you have vowed to give, and go to the place the Lord will choose. Present your burnt offerings on the altar of the Lord your God, both the meat and the blood. The blood of your sacrifices must be poured beside the altar of the Lord your God, but you may eat the meat. Be careful too. There is no rebirth. Everyone has been given one life. I thought my mother believed. No, you're right. Our souls go to heaven and we remain in heaven. Jesus. Remember Jesus? Actually Jesus. He revived. He was reborn. Be careful. Be careful to obey all these regulations I am giving you, so that it may always go well with you and your children after you, because you will be doing what is good and the right in the eyes of your Lord your God. The Lord your God will cut off before you the nations you are about to invade and dispossess. But when you have driven them out and settled in their land, and after they have been destroyed before you, be careful not to be ensnared by inquiry. I guess it was the same life, right? Because he's like the same person, but he wouldn't be reborn as a different person. In the eyes of every child, in the smiles of every baby. The Lord your God will cut off before the nations, but when you have driven them out and settled in their land, and after they have been destroyed before you, be careful not to be ensnared by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshipping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters in the fire as sacrifices to their gods. What? Nah. Okay, I can see why the Lord might find that detestable, burning your sons and daughter and sacrificing them to their gods. I can see why. I'm starting to grab a picture. Like, ooh, it just seems a bit harsh that the Lord is sending in people to kill every one of them, man, women, and child. That's kind of harsh, isn't it? But if when worshipping their gods they sacrifice their own children, maybe it's more of like a deserved, before the judicial system. See that you do all I command you. Do not add to it or take away from it. If a prophet or one who foretells by dreams appears among you and announces to you a sign or wonder, and if the sign or wonder spoken of takes place, and the prophet says, let us follow other gods you have not known, and let us worship them, you must not listen to the words of that prophet or dreamer. The Lord your God is testing you to find out whether you love him, whether your hearts, with all your heart and with all your soul. That's the demon called Moloch that they sacrifice children to, and it still occurs today. Really? That's cool. I mean, no, that's not cool. That's horrible. But I mean, it's cool that it's written about. Do they talk about demons in this book, in the Old Testament, or is that in the New Testament? You must not listen. The Lord, well, it kind of defeats the purpose if you tell the people that you're going to be testing them to try to trick them into following another god, isn't it? It is the Lord your God you must follow, and you must revere. Keep his commands and obey him. Serve him and hold fast to him. The prophet or dreamer must be put to death for inciting rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt and redeemed you from the land of slavery. That prophet or dreamer tried to turn you away from the Lord your God commanded you to follow. You must purge the evil among you. If your very own brother, or your son or daughter, or the wife you love, or your closest friend secretly entices you, saying, let us go and worship other gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, gods of the peoples around you, whether near or far, from one end to the other, to the land to the other. You can study demonology if you want. Do not yield to them or listen to them. Show them no pity. Do not spare them or shield them. You must certainly put them to death. Your hand must be the first in putting them to death, and then the hands of the people. Stone them to death, because they tried to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. If is it blasphemous to look into demonology now that you've brought it up? Like, what if after the Bible we have a look at what the demons believe in? Is there a demonology book? Is there a demonology Bible? Satanic Bible? Or is that blasphemous? Am I going to hell for that? Purely for like research purposes and purely for like researching and like enjoying. Demonology is the study of demons, and some Christians study to understand what they are. Yeah, like that. I think that'd be cool to like learn about the demons. Some blasphemous to look into God's word is true and obvious and innate. Yeah, I wouldn't worship them, but I think it might be fun to look into. You do not. You must put them to death. Stone them to death, because they tried to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and no one among you will do such an evil thing again. If you hear it said about one of the towns the Lord your God is giving you to live in, that troublemakers have arisen among you and have led the people of your town astray, saying, "Let us go and worship other gods," brackets gods you have not known, then you must inquire, probe and investigate it thoroughly. And if it is true, and it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done among you, you must certainly put to the sword all who live in the town. You must destroy it completely, both its people and its livestock. You are to gather all the plunder of the town in the middle of the public square and completely burn the town and all its plunder as the whole burnt offering to the Lord your God. That town is to remain a ruin forever, never to be rebuilt. And none of the... I wonder if they still haven't been rebuilt today, if any of the towns have done that. I wonder if you can go, like, visit them nowadays. Or did they never have a town that was burnt? And none of the condemned things are to be found in your hands. Then the Lord will turn from his fierce anger, and will show you mercy, and will have compensation on you. The location is still there. It's just dirt. Oh, right, yeah, like global warming would melt the sand. Because you obey the Lord your God by keeping all his commands that I am giving you today, and doing what is right in his eyes. You are the children of the Lord your God. Do not cut yourselves off or shave in the front of your heads for the dead. For the dead? Hi Luna, good morning. Yeah,
Yes,
like
good morning, Manuka.
Luna, good morning. You are the children of the Lord your God. Do not cut yourselves or shave the front of your heads for the dead. You are a people of holy to the Lord your God. Out of all the people on the face of the earth, the Lord has chosen you to be his treasured possession. Do not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roe deer, the wild goat, the ibex, I don't know what that is, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. You may eat any animal that has a divided hoof, and that chews the cud. However, those that chew the cud and have a divided hoof, you may not eat the camel, the rabbit, or the hyrax. Is that like a sphinx? These people had to be holy before because Christ was to come from them. Ah, that's interesting. However, although they chew the cud, they do not have a divided hoof. They are ceremonially unclean for you. The pig is also unclean. Although it has a divided hoof, it does not chew the cud. You are not to eat their meat or touch their carcasses. If it's the same God that is believed by both, how come, and I'm just assuming there's no mention of demons in the Old Testament, but in the New Testaments there's a heaven and a hell. But and I'm going based off what my mum believes. My mum believes that, and she was told by rabbis that Jewish people only go to heaven because there is no hell. In that the Jewish people don't believe in hell. The pig is also unclean. Though it has a divided hoof, it does not chew the cud. You are not to eat their meat or touch their carcasses. Of all the creatures living in the water, you may eat any that has fins and scales. Non-Protestants made up a bunch of shit before they mass-produced the Bible and people could read. Non-Protestants made up a bunch of stuff before they mass-produced the Bible and people could read. What? So the demons, is hell made up, or is not going to hell made up? The Talmudist Jews aren't the Jews of the Old Testaments. I don't. I'm saying like I understand, but I don't. Of all the creatures living in the water, why do we have pigs then? Why did they keep pigs? Why did they even keep pigs? What for? If the Jewish people, do they keep pigs? No, they wouldn't. There's no pigs in Israel, right? The modern Jewish faith is of the Talmud, not the Bible. Oh, I thought this is what we're reading is what the Jewish people believe. What's the Talmud? Should I be reading the Talmud then? Or is it like different? It's the same? Is it similar? What's the different? The Talmud has a lot of blasphemy in it. Oh. Wait, then why would Jewish people believe in the Talmud if it's blasphemous? Or blasphemous to Christianity? Of all the creatures living in the water, you may eat any that has fins or scales, but anything that does not have... They wrote it? The Jewish people wrote it? Oh, so they cultivated their own Bible rather than receiving a Bible from the Lord written on rocks or something. They wrote it after Jesus. Oh, I see. The Bible in my eyes is a game of telephone. Who wrote the Bible? Did God write the Bible, or is it, or is the Bible written by like many generations of old people? Like it was written on like leaves by like Cain and Abel, and then it was written on the walls by like Abraham and stuff, and then it was written on like tablets by Moses, transcribed, and like they brought it all together like it was. But anything that does not have fins and scales you may not eat, for you it is unclean. You may eat any clean bird, but these may not. The question was, who wrote the Bible? Was it written by, did the God write the Bible, or was it slowly pieced together like on grass, written on grass by Adam and Eve, and then it was written on some wood by Cain and Abel, and then it was like God prophesied many stories to the prophets, but they are all stories transcribed by humans, written over 1200 years by 44 authors. Ah. Okay. Cool. You may not eat any clean bird. What? I thought we could eat. Oh, you may eat any clean bird. But these you may not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the red kite, the black kite, and any kind of falcon, any kind of raven, the horned owl, the screech owl, the gull, any kind of hawk, the little owl, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the cormorant, the stork, and any kind of heron, the hoopoe, and the bat. Well, I feel like it'd be easier to list the things that, at least the birds that you could eat. Hi, Effie. Good morning. All flying insects are unclean to you. Do not eat them. But any winged creature that is clean, you may eat. Good morning, Loomis. Do not eat anything you find already dead. You may give it to the foreigner residing in any of your towns, and they may eat it, or you may sell it to any foreigner. But you are a people of holy to the Lord your God. Do not cook a young goat in his mother's milk. Be sure to set aside 1/10 of all your fields produced each year. Eat a tithe of your grain, new wine and olive oil, and the firstborn of your herds and flocks in the presence of the Lord your God at the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name, so that you may learn to revere the Lord your God always. But if that place is too distant, and you have been blessed by the Lord your God and cannot carry your tithe, I wonder what feeling holy feels like. Is it like a burning sensation, or is it like when you put a flashlight on your skin, or is it like you feel clean, like you just had a shower all the time? Itching? You may. But if that place is too distant, and you have been blessed by the Lord your God and cannot carry your tithe because the place where the Lord chose to put his name is so far away, then exchange your tithe for silver, and take the silver with you, and go to the place the Lord your God will choose. It's not something I can describe to you. Are you saying that because we can't possibly fathom what it felt like, or that it didn't feel like anything, or because you can't describe how you feel because you are holy? I'm still working towards holiness. I see. I see. Well, if you ever reach holiness, tell me how you feel, okay? Then exchange your tithe for silver, and take the silver with you, and go towards the place the Lord of God will choose. Lord, choose. Use the silver to buy whatever you like: cattle, sheep, wine, or other fermented drink, or anything you wish. Then you and your household shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God, and rejoice. And do not neglect the Levites living in your towns, for they have no allotment or inheritance of their own. At the end of every 3 years, bring all the tithes of the year's produce and store it in your towns, so that the Levites, who have no allotment or inheritance of their own, and the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows who live in your towns, may come and eat and be satisfied, and so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. I don't plan on abandoning you guys, but it will become more rare to see me. I understand. The life of a holy man is a hard one, but it's something that must be done. Or something. At the end of every 7 years, you must cancel debts. This is how it is to be done. Every creditor shall cancel any loan they have made to a fellow Israelite. Huh? They shall not require payment from anyone. So if you just don't pay your debt, then you get away with it after 7 years. Because we'll see. We'll see if there's a punishment for that. What about student loans? Yeah, I guess you don't have to pay it after 7 years. But I guess God assumes you're trying to pay it. But if you are unable to pay it after 7 years, because no Israelite will ever dream of taking advantage of the kindness of a loan giver. Forgiveness is a virtue. Yes. This is... They shall not require payment from anyone among their own people, because the Lord's time for cancelling debts has been proclaimed. You may require payment from a foreigner, but you must cancel any debt your fellow Israelite owes you. Imagine telling the government, God said I don't have to pay now. It's been 7 years. No, it's for fellow. So if the government was a fellow Israelite, as are you, then it will be forgiven. However, there need be no poor people among you, for in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess as your inheritance, he will richly bless you. Yeah, so loans, I don't know why they even mention this in the Bible, because loans didn't exist because the fruit of Israel was so plentiful for everybody. If only you fully obey the Lord your God and are careful to follow all these commands I am giving you today, for the Lord your God will bless you, as he has promised, and you will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. You will rule over many nations, but none will rule over you. If anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites in any of the towns of the land the Lord your God... People borrowed from each other. Oh yeah. They're like trading cattle and stuff. Like an Amish. If anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites in the towns that your Lord your God is giving you, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted toward them. Rather, be open-handed and freely lend them whatever they need. Be careful, do not harbor this wicked thought. The 7th year, the year for canceling debts, is near, so that you do not show ill will toward the needy among your fellow Israelites, to give them nothing. They may then appeal to the Lord against you, and you will be found guilty of sin. Give generously to them, and do not do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in everything you put your hand to. I buy stuff from Amish people. That's cool. I like the Amish. I like the idea of the Amish. I think it's like a noble thing. Not like a noble, but like I like the way they live. If I wasn't so indoctrinated by like technology, I think living like an Amish is like a wonderful thing. Will be like a wonderful thing to like just enjoy the land and stuff. They make the best butter since it has nothing added to it by the government. An Amish boy once got red-faced when seeing Ryan shorts. Too much leg. It was amazing. I could never, and I would hate living like an Amish now if I was me now. But if I was born Amish, I think that would be pug. Just like me in the open land and my cattle and horse. There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore, I command you to be open. Therefore, I command you to be. Therefore, I command you to be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites, who are poor and needy in your land. If any of your people, Hebrew men or women, sell themselves to you and serve you 6 years, in the 7th year you must let them go free. And when you release them, sorry, 6 years, 7 years. No. And when you release them, do not send them away empty-handed. Supply them liberally from your flock, then threshing floor and your winepress. Give to them as the Lord your God has blessed you. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. That's why I give you the command today. But if your servant says to you, I do not want to leave you, because he loves you and your family and is well off with you, then take an awl and push it through his earlobe into the door. And he will become an awl and push it through his earlobe into the door. And he will become your servant for life. Do the same for your family, your female servant. Do not consider it as a hardship to set your servant free, because their service to you these 6 years has been worth twice as much as that of a hired hand. And the Lord your God will bless you in everything you do. Set apart. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Ninya. Do not set apart for the Lord your God every firstborn male of your herds and flocks. Do not put the firstborn of your cows to work, and do not shear the firstborn of your sheep. Each year you and your family are to eat them in the presence of the Lord your God at the place where he will choose. Each year? How often do cows have children? How often do cows have babies? Wouldn't that be like excess? If an animal has a defect, is lame or blind, or has serious flaw, you must not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You are to eat it in your own towns. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it, as if it were a gazelle or deer. But you must not eat the blood. Pour it onto the ground like water. Observe the month of Aviv, and celebrate the Passover of the Lord your God. What? Cows only have one cow a year? Wait, the firstborn, that would mean... I'm trying to do the math. The firstborn, so only one female cow can have one firstborn cow in their entire life. But there would be multiple cows in a field. So multiple cows would have firstborns. So you start with eating the baby cow, and then the other cows start growing up, and then you pick a cow, and you have to keep those firstborn cows marked or separated from the rest so that you know that they're the firstborn cow. Observe the month of Aviv and celebrate the Passover of the Lord your God, because in the month of Aviv he brought you out of Egypt by night. Sacrifice as the Passover to the Lord your God an animal from the flock or herd, at the place the Lord will choose as a dwelling for his name. Do not eat it with bread made with yeast, but for 7 days eat unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, because you left Egypt in haste, so that all the days of your life you may remember the time of your departure from Egypt. Let no yeast be found in your possession in all your land for 7 days. Do not let any of the meat you sacrifice on the evening on the first day remain until morning. You must not sacrifice the Passover in any town the Lord your God gives you, except in the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. There you must sacrifice the Passover in the evening, when the sun goes down on the anniversary of your departure from Egypt. Roast it and eat it at the place the Lord your God will choose. Then in the morning return to your tents. For 6 days eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day hold an assembly to the Lord your God, and do no work. Count off 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the standing grain. Then celebrate the festival of weeks to the Lord your God by giving a free will offering in proportion to the blessings the Lord your God has given you. And rejoice before the Lord your God at the place he will choose as a dwelling for his name. You, your sons, your daughters, your male and female servants, the Levites in your towns, and the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows living among you. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and follow carefully these decrees. Unleavened bread is bread without... Yes, it's a matzah. It's matzah. I've eaten matzah. I like matzah. Matzah is good. It tastes good. And eating it with butter and Nutella. Or Nutella. Not and Nutella. Because butter and Nutella is disgusting. But butter or Nutella is delicious. I haven't eaten matzah in a while because... actually years, because... since I became celiac. Matzah becomes, non-wheat matzah. It, crumbles. It crumbles in your hand, and you can't put anything on it because it just crumbles when you try to spread it. Celebrate the festival. Yeah, celiac. Awful. It's awful. God, why did you do this to me? Why have you punished me? What have I done? What has my ancestors done to displease you so that have given me celiac? It means I can't eat wheat. I can't eat wheat or I'll get cancer. Celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles for 7 days after you have gathered the produce of your threshing floor and your winepress. It wouldn't be as bad if like half of the products on the shelves in supermarkets didn't say may contain traces of gluten because they were like made on the same conveyor belts as gluten products. The Lord is testing you by making your caretakers feed you different foods. Affliction brings you closer to God, and apparently it's working. Good one. Celebrate the Festival of Tabernacles for 7 days. After you have gathered the produce of your threshing floor and your winepress, be joyful at your festival, you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants and the Levites, the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows who live in your towns. For 7 days celebrate the festival to the Lord your God, at the place the Lord will choose. For the Lord your God will bless you in all your harvest and in all the work of your hands, and your joy will be complete. 3 times a year, all your men must appear before the Lord, your God, at the place he will choose at the festival of unleavened bread, the festival of weeks, and the festival of tabernacles. No one should appear before the Lord empty-handed. Each of you must bring a gift in proportion to the way the Lord your God has blessed you. Appoint judges and officials for each of your tribes in every town the Lord your God is giving you, and they shall judge the people fairly. Do not pervert justice or show partiality. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the innocent. Follow justice and justice alone, so that you may live and possess the lands the Lord your God is giving you. Do not set up any wooden Asherah pole beside the altar you build to the Lord your God, and do not erect a sacred stone, for these the Lord your God hates. Do not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or a sheep that has any defect or flaw in it, for that would be detestable to him. If a man or woman living among you in one of the towns the Lord gives you is found doing evil in the eyes of the Lord your God in violation of his covenant, and the contrary to my command has worshipped other gods, bowing down to them or to the sun or the moon or the stars in the sky, and this has been brought to your attention, then you must investigate it thoroughly. If it is true and it has been proved that this detestable thing has been done in Israel, take the man or woman who has done this evil deed to your city gate and stone that person to death. On the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, a person is to be put to death, but no one is to put to death on the testimony of only 1 witness. The hands of the witnesses must be the first in putting the person to death, and then the hands of all the people. You must purge the evil from among you. If cases come before the courts that are too difficult for you to judge, whether bloodshed, lawsuits, or assaults...
Number 19, mouse and baked
Hi, Arctic Arcade Assault. Good morning. Android. Good morning. Have you been using astrology signs? Does that count as worshipping the sun and the stars? If you use astrology box, I'm an Aquarium. Do if a case, take them to the place the Lord your God will choose. Go to the Levitical priests and to the judge who is in office at that time. Inquire to them, and they will give you the verdict. You must act according to the decisions they give you at the place the Lord will choose. Be careful to do anything they instruct you to do. Act accordingly to whatever they teach you and the decisions they give you. Do not turn aside from what they tell you, to the right or to the left. Anyone who shows contempt for the judge or for the priest who stands ministering there to the Lord your God is to be put to death. You must purge the evil from Israel. All people will hear and be afraid and will not be contemptuous again. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, and have taken possession of it, and settled in it, and you say, "Let us set a king over us, like all the nations around us," be sure to appoint over you a king the Lord your God chooses. He must be from among your fellow Israelites. Do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not an Israelite. The king, moreover, must not acquire great numbers of horses for himself, or make the people return to Egypt to get more of them. For the Lord has told you, you are not to go back that way again. He must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray. He must not accumulate large amounts of silver and gold. When he takes the throne of his kingdom, he is to write for himself on a scroll a copy of this law, taken from that of the Levitical priests. It is to be with him, and he is to read it all the days of his life, so that he may learn to revere the Lord his God, and follow carefully all the words of this law and these decrees, and not consider himself better than his fellow Israelites, and turn from the law to the right or to the left. Then he and his descendants will reign a long time over his kingdom in Israel. The Levitical priests, indeed, the whole tribe of Levi, are to have no allotment or inheritance with Israel. They shall live on the food offerings presented to the Lord, for that is their inheritance, and they shall have no inheritance among their fellow Israelites. The Lord is their inheritance, as he promised them. This is the share due to the priests from the people who sacrifice a bull or sheep, the shoulder, the internal organs, and the meat from the head. You are to give them the first fruits of your grain, new wine and olive oil, and the first wool from the shearing of your sheep. For the Lord your God has chosen them and their descendants out of all your tribes to stand and minister in the Lord's name always. If a Levite moves from one of your towns anywhere in Israel when he is living, and comes in all earnestness to the place the Lord will choose, he may minister in the name of the Lord, his God, like all his fellow Levites who serve there in the presence of the Lord. He is to share equally in their benefits, even though he has received money from the sale of family possessions. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, do not learn to imitate the detestable ways of the nations there. Let no one be found among you who sacrifices their sons or daughters in the fire, who practices divination or sorcery, interprets omens, engages in witchcraft, or casts spells, or who is a medium or spiritualist, or who consults the dead. Could they do that? Back in those days, they could do that? They actually had spells and stuff? And they could actually talk to the dead? Why would the Lord find this detestable if it wasn't actually real and wasn't actually happening? They could cast spells? Wow. So magic did exist. Wow. Uh-oh. Anyone... Uh-oh. It looks like I'm missing a page. A page is missing. I don't know what happened. Yeah, magic existed and God took it from you. Are you angry? Kind of. Kind of. A little. I could have been a magician. Anyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord. Because of these same detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive out those nations before you. It's demonic. You must be blasphemous before the Lord your God. No, but they had magic, and that's cool. It's demonic. Because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God will drive those nations before you. And it made me happy. You must be blameless before the Lord your God. The nations you will dispossess listens to those who practice sorcery or divination. But as for you, the Lord your God has not permissioned you to do so. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must not listen. You must listen to him. Where do you think it comes from, if not God? From his sleeve. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him. For this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, "Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see the great fire anymore, or we will die." The Lord said to me, "What they say is good. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell them everything I commanded him." Is that Jesus? Is that Jesus? Is that Jesus mentioned? I will raise up from the prophet. I will raise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites. He will tell them everything I commanded him. Ah. I told my mom, after last session, I was telling my mom about how God commanded the Israelites to go into Israel and kill everybody. And she was like, "What? No. No. What? No." She could not believe what she was hearing. But actually, have you gone... Maybe you should go to speak to a professional priest about this to make sure it actually had... He had a good reason. Yeah, I said because they were doing naughty things. So he killed them. He killed them all. He had the Hebrew people kill them all. He didn't kill them all. He had the Hebrew people kill them all. The Israelites. He had to because on account of him being God. Well, he had to because dispositionalists basically don't understand the Bible. They think they go to heaven from Sunday service. My mother feels close to God. She feels it. I think my mother feels holy. My mother genuinely feels holy. One time she was in the car with her sister talking about her father in the car, and they were reminiscing on her father. And then the windscreen wipers turned on all by themselves, she told me. And they were like, oh, our Father is watching over us in heaven. Real story, by the way. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. This Jesus loves you and you can do whatever you want is BS. Well, is that true? Is that true that it's BS, or is that an ego? Like, because you choose to expand and actually worship the Lord. You have like an ego over them, over the people that don't do that and think they'll still get into heaven. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just asking if it, like, because I'm not up to the Bible that says what you just said. If you research things properly, you will disprove it easily. Oh, okay. We'll get up to it then. I believe I go to heaven from accepting Jesus as my Lord and Savior, but also I think other good people go to heaven even if they don't, on account of God liking good people. I like that. I like that. I choose to believe that too. God is a gradient of good. So closer to God equals closer to God. Closer to good equals closer to God. I like that. For the Lord your God will raise up from you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him. For this is what you asked of the Lord your God at Horeb on the day of the assembly, when you said, "Let us not hear a voice at the back." Jesus himself will say it. Okay. Let us not hear the voice of the Lord our God, nor see this great fire anymore, or we will die. The Lord said to me, "What they say is good. I will raise up from them a prophet like you from among the fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell you everything I command him. I myself will..." Well, why did he do that? How come God raised up a follower that did that and not speak to somebody instead, like he did with Moses? I myself will call to account anyone who does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name. But a prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods, is to be put to death. But a prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded, or a prophet who speaks in the name of God, is to be put to death. You may say to yourselves, how can we know when a message has not been spoken by the Lord? If what a prophet proclaims in the name of the Lord does not take place or come true, that is a message the Lord has not spoken. That prophet has spoken presumptuously, and so do not be alarmed. I don't know if I'm missing a page, but I don't know if... Let me just check just in case. He's talking about John the Baptist? Who? The prophet? He's talking about John the Baptist, the man who speaks, or the man who, the prophet that proclaims, the false prophet, John the Baptist. What are we up to? 1822. John led the way for Christ. Oh. John is not a false prophet. So he's talking about. They're talking about in right now. The Lord will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you. That's John. 22, 18, 22. Okay, no, I just messed up the page. When the Lord your God has destroyed the nations whose land he is giving you, and when you have driven them out and settled in their towns and houses, then set aside for yourselves 3 cities in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Determine the distances involved and divide into 3 parts the land your God is giving you as an inheritance, so that the person who kills someone may flee for refuge to one of these cities. This is the rule concerning anyone who kills a person and flees. Therefore, safety, anyone who kills a neighbor unintentionally without malice aforethought. For instance, a man may go into the forest with his neighbor to cut wood, and as he swings his axe to fell a tree, the head may fly off and hit his neighbor and kill him. That man may flee to one of these cities and save his life. Otherwise, the avenger of blood might pursue him in a rage, overtake him if the distance is too great, and kill him even though he is not deserving of death, since he did it to his neighbor without malice aforethought. So if somebody kills somebody accidentally, then they should be pardoned of their crime. Do we have that in present society? You can run from accidental killing, but if you ran from accidental killing in now times, you would be labeled as a criminal. That's called manslaughter. No, but it's accidental manslaughter. And you still go to jail for that? You get punished for that? But it's an accident. Manslaughter is accidental? Okay. I thought manslaughter was just another word for murder. When... Otherwise... This is why I command you to set aside for yourselves 3 cities. If the Lord your God enlarges your territory as he promised an oath to your ancestors and gives you the whole land he promised, because you carefully follow all these laws I command you today, to love the Lord your God and walk always in obedience to him, then you are to set aside 3 more cities. Do this so that innocent blood will not be shed in your land, which the Lord your God is giving you as your inheritance, so that you will not be guilty of bloodshed. But if out of hate somebody lies in wait, assaults and kills a neighbor, and then flees to one of these cities, the killer shall be sent for by the town elders, be brought back from the city, and be handed over to the avenger of blood to die. Okay, 1, who is avenger of blood? Who is the avenger of blood? Okay, and 2, how do you know if both people if both people flee? How do you know if it's intentional or unintentional? Show no pity. You must purge from Israel the guilt of shedding innocent blood, so that it may go well with you. Do not move your neighbor's boundary stones set up by your predecessors in the inheritance. Someone related to the victim who wants to avenge them? Avenger of blood. I see. Oh, blood like a bloodline. Okay. Do not move your neighbor's boundary stone set up by your predecessors in the inheritance you receive in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. One witness is not enough to convict anyone accused of any crime or offense they may have committed. A matter must be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Avenger of spilled blood? If a malicious witness takes the stand to accuse someone of a crime, the 2 people involved in the dispute must stand in the presence of the Lord before the priests and the judges who are in the office at the time. The judges must make a thorough investigation, and if the witness proves to be a liar, giving false testimony against the fellow Israelite, then do the false witness as the witness intended to do with the other party. You must purge the evil from among you. So if you lie under oath, you get killed. Your birthday is the 4th? That's tomorrow. Well, I don't need to know. I'm going to hell anyway. Well, you don't have to. It's not too late. So in 2 days, if I don't see you, then happy birthday.
Blessed morning, Manuka.
Happy birthday in 2 days. Good morning, Ishitoka. Saying good night. Your hard work today with the church. Good night, Ishitoka. Sweet dreams. Have a good night, sweet dreams. The rest of the people will hear from this and be afraid, and never again will such an evil thing be done among you. Show no pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. When you go to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots and an army greater than yours, do not be afraid. I think we should still do that. Hand for hand, life for life. I think that's should be. Do unto your neighbor what you wish to be done unto yourself. When you go to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots and an army greater than yours, do not be afraid of them, because the Lord your God who brought you up out of Egypt will be with you. When you are about to go into battle, the priest shall come forward and address the army. He shall say, "Hear, Israel, today you are going into battle against your enemies. Do not be faint-hearted or afraid. Do not panic or be terrified by them. For the Lord your God is one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory." The officers shall say to the army, "Has anyone built a new house and not yet begun to live in it? Let him go home, or he may die in battle and someone else may begin to live in it." The officers shall say to the army, "Has anyone built a new house and not yet begun to live in it? Let him go home, or he may die in battle and someone else may begin to live in it." Has anyone planted a vineyard and not begun to enjoy it? Let him go home, or he may die in battle and someone else enjoy it. I thought God protects the people in battle and stops them from dying. Isn't that what they did in the wars to claim the God protected the people? In the one battle, remember which it's in the first battle, there was like a billion enemies and like 100 Israelite people, and they went into battle and they all died. All the enemies died, but all the 100 Israelite people were unscathed. Or is that not a thing anymore? Now everybody gets to die in battle. There's battle with God and battle without. So when the chariots arrive at the Israelites' doorstep, God is no longer with them, fighting with them. It's up to the people to deal with it. God's people to deal with God's people problems. Did I skip a page? See how it says? And then, well, it says, "For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight against your enemies to give you victory." But they just talked about dying, the possibility of dying after you've built a new house. Oh, when he wants to destroy the evil, he's with them. They can call on him anytime. I see. Well, I assume they would call on him every time. Or maybe it only works 100% when the holy bar is filled, like the holy bar, like manna. Can anyone has anyone become pledged to a woman and not married her? Let him go home, or he may die in battle and someone else marry her. Then the officers shall add, "Is anyone afraid or faint-hearted? Let him go home, so that his fellow soldiers will not become disheartened too." When the officers have finished speaking to the army, they shall appoint commanders over it. They failed to call upon him multiple times. Oh, I see. Well, that's like a skill issue, I don't know. When you march up to attack a city, make its people an offer of peace. If they accept and open their gates, all the people in it shall be subject to forced labor and shall work for you. If they refuse to make peace and they engage you in battle, lay siege to the city. When the Lord your God delivers it into... It's like a pre-buff. It's like a pre-buff. Pre-pool buffs. When the Lord God delivers it into your hand, put to the sword all the men in it. As for the women, the children, the livestock, and everything else in the city, you may take these as plunder for yourselves. They start getting scared and instead of praying, they worship golden cows and whatnot. Well, that's just silly. That's just silly. I don't know why would they do that? That's silly. So silly. This is how you are to treat. As for when the Lord God delivers it into your hand, put to the sword all the men in it. As for the women and children, the livestock and everything else in the city, you may take these as plunder for yourselves, and you may use the plunder the Lord your God gives you from your enemies. This is how you are to treat all the cities that are at a distance from you, and do not belong to the nations nearby. However, in these cities of the nations the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, do not leave alive anything that breathes. Completely destroy them, the Hittites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites, as the Lord your God has commanded you. Otherwise they will teach you to follow all the detestable things they do in worshipping their gods, and you will sin against the Lord your God. When you lay siege to a city for a long time, fighting to capture it, do not destroy its trees by putting an axe to them, because you can eat their fruit. Do not cut them down. Are the trees people that you should besiege them? What? However, you may cut down trees that you know are not fruit trees and can use them to build siege works until the city at war with you falls. If someone is found slain lying in a field in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess, and it is not known and it is not known who the killer is. Your elders and judges shall go out and measure the distance from the body to the neighboring towns. Then the elders of the town nearest the body shall take a heifer that has never worked and has never worn a yoke, and lead it down to a valley that has not been plowed or planted, where there is a flowing stream. There in the valley they are to break their heifer's neck. The Levitical priests shall step forward. For the Lord your God has chosen them to minister and to pronounce blessings in the name of the Lord, and to decide all cases of dispute and assault. Then all the elders of the town nearest the body shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley, and they shall declare, Our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Accept this atonement for your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, Lord, and do not hold your people guilty of the blood of an innocent person. Then the blood shed will be atoned for, and you will have purged from yourselves the guilt of shedding innocent blood, since you have done what is right in the eyes of the Lord. When you go to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands, and you take captives. Heifer is a cow. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying. I thought a heifer was like a child. When you go to war against your enemies and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands and you take captives, if you notice among the captives a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. Bring her into your home and have her shave her head. Trim her nails and put aside the clothes she was wearing when captured. After she has delivered in your house and mourned her father and mother for a full month, then you may shave her head. Then you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. I figured you pronounced it wrong on purpose, but it's pronounced heifer. Isn't that what I said? If you are not pleased with her, let her go wherever she wishes. She must not sell her or treat her as a slave. She needs new hair. Oh, like non-sinful hair. You must not sell her or treat her as a slave, since you have disowned her. If a man has 2 wives, and he loves one but not the other, and both bear him sons, but the firstborn is the son of the wife he does not love, when he wills his property to his sons, he must not give the rights of the firstborn to the sons of the wife he loves in the preference to his actual firstborn, the son of the wife he does not love. He must acknowledge the son of his unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double share of all he has. That son is the first sign of his father's strength. The right of the firstborn belongs to him. If someone has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father and mother, and will not listen to them when they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They're going to scared straight him. They shall say to the elders, This son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Then all the men of his town are to stone him to death. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. What did they do? Oh no. Oh. For being a glutton and a drunkard, disobeying your parents, you get stoned to death. Oh. Oh no, you must purge the evil from among you. Oh Israel, that's like a don't do this, strange danger, you'll get kidnapped and taken away. Don't disobey us or we'll stone you to death. Alcoholic fatty who hates his parents. I see. Did they even have enough food to get fat back in those days? Being a glutton and disobeying your parents? This is 2 out of 3. What's the other one? Stubborn and rebellious? I was stubborn and rebellious when I was a kid. I'm stubborn now. I'm still stubborn, but I'm not rebellious. I would have been stoned to death. I'm a glutton. And I don't get drunk. I'm not a drunkard, I'm just gluttonous. All Israel will hear from it and be afraid. If someone guilty of capital offenses puts it to death and their body is exposed on a pole. You must not leave the body hanging on the pole overnight. Be sure to bury it that same day, because anyone who is hung on a pole is under God's curse. You must not desecrate the land the Lord your God is giving you an inheritance. If you need to bury it? Isn't burying it desecrating the land? If you see your fellow Israelites' ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it, but be sure to take it back to its owner. If they do not live near you, or if you do not know who owns it, take it home with you and keep it until they come looking for it. Then give it back. Do the same if you find their donkey or cloak, or anything else that they have lost. Do not ignore it. If you see your fellow Israelites' donkey or ox fallen on the road, do not ignore it. Help the owner get it on its feet. A woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear women's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. Oh. Sorry, fellas. It's over. You shall be stoned to death. No, just kidding. It doesn't say that yet. I haven't gotten. If you come across a bird's nest beside the road, either in a tree or on the ground, and the mother is sitting on the young or on the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. You may take the young, but be sure to let the mother go, so that it may go well with you, and you may have a long life. When you build a new house, make a parapet around your roof, so that you may not bring the guilt of bloodshed on your house if someone falls from the roof. A parapet? Do not plant 2 kinds of seed in your vineyard. If you do, not only the crops you plant, but also the fruit of the vineyard will be defiled. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey yoked together. Do not wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. Make tassels on the 4 corners of the cloak you wear. If a man takes a wife and after sleeping with her, dislikes her, and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity. Then the young woman's father and mother shall bring to the town elders at the gate proof that she was a virgin. But what if you are not a virgin? What? So you're only allowed one. So what if the husband were to die? Is the woman not allowed to remarry? Sex outside of marriage is a no-no? Right. What about when I might have imagined this, but in like 2 books ago, or 3 books ago, didn't the daughter have relations with the father? I forget their names. and then that would make her unpleasant. So then she's not allowed to be with anybody else. So once you lose your virginity, you're not allowed to be with another male. They had no one else. Oh, they had no one else. That's right. Nah, then her parent. Bring to the town proof that she is a virgin. Setting aside being assaulted? No, it wasn't assault. She was the perpetrator. Wasn't she? That's how I remember it. She tricked the father into sleeping with her while he was drunk. Talking about the rule of checking someone's virginity. Setting aside... I preferred she was a virgin. Her father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he slandered her and said, I did not find your daughter to be a virgin, but there is the proof of my daughter's virginity. How do you prove of your daughter's virginity? Then what do they... Are they like branded whenever or something? Or do they get like a contract? Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town. The cloth? And the elders shall take the man and punish him. They used to think that an unbroken hymen was proved virginity. Is it not? Okay, but what if it wasn't broken, but the man slept with her and then broke it, and thus but the man was displeased and lied. No, it's not. Oh. What then is a virginity a social construct? No? Then how do you prove it? The elders shall take... You can't prove it. The elders shall take the man... Read! The elders shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the young woman's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. She shall continue to be his wife. He must not divorce her as long as he lives. If, however, the charge is true and no proof the young woman's virginity can be found, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of her town shall stone her to death. Except via like an STD or something stupid. But those are usually also contagious in others. And you're upset because they don't understand the systems they had. So if the woman is not a virgin, but she marries, she gets into a relationship, but she's not a virgin, then she gets stoned to death. I remember this. I used to quote this because I read it on the internet. If my woman is not a virgin, then I'm allowed to stone her to death. She has done an outrageous thing in Israel by being promiscuous while still in her father's house. You must purge... Oh, so they... Okay. So they live with... Do you live with your parents until... The daughter lives with their parents until they are wedded? I guess that would make sense. You must purge the evil from among you. If a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. If a man happens to meet in a town a virgin pledged to be married and sleeps with her, you shall take both of them to the gate of that town and stone them to death. The young woman because she was in a town and did not scream for help, and the man because he violated another man's wife. You must purge the evil from among you. But if out in the country a man happens to meet a young woman pledged to be married and R-words her, only the man who has done this shall die. I was gonna ask that. Do nothing to the woman she has committed no sin deserving death. The woman sinned because she didn't scream. She sinned because she invited it. Because elaborated in the next sentence, if she was assaulted, then only the man is put to death. Because she didn't scream, she invited herself. But if out in the country a man happens to meet a young woman pledged to be married, do nothing to the woman. She has committed no sin deserving of death. This case is like that of someone who attacks and murders a neighbor. For the man found the young woman out in the country, and though the betrothed woman screamed, there was no one to rescue her. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and assaults her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. A man is not to marry his father's wife. He must not dishonor his father's bed. Okay, so it sounds like you're only allowed one marriage per life. One marriage per life. You're not allowed to divorce, and you're not allowed to divorce and remarry. We know that, but you're also what if like the husband dies young? This is why I said women were considered property. No one who has been emasculated by crushing or cutting may enter the assembly of the Lord. What's the time? Oh, it's been over 2 hours. So. Ooh. Whoa. Wow. We got through quite a lot today compared to last week, which was somehow we only made it through 7 chapters. We made it through 13 chapters, I think. 16 chapters. That's a step up from last week. Good job. Good job, fellas. True. If it was equal society, then the man would get stoned to death for that. In fact, not having stoned to death as a punishment encourages it. Like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Just like not having punishments for stealing from businesses is an encouragement to steal more. America. He must pay and stay with her forever. I mean, it's a punishment, I guess, but I don't feel like it's a valid punishment. But in another way, I kind of understand the reasoning, like because he took took her virginity, so she's unmanageable. Like, she's unmarriable. She's not allowed to be wedded anymore because she's no longer a virgin. So I understand the thinking. Which imagine if you're like excited to be married and now you can no longer be married because somebody took that from you. So like even if the man was equally stoned to death and punished for assaulting her, then the woman would still be stuck. So I guess as a like a midway point, I'm being very like I'm being very generous with this in this defense, and I'm like hoping for the best. I'm being generous. Yes, it's for the sake of the woman that they had her marry the man that assaulted her, so that she didn't grow old and die alone without bearing children. Though this is only for the Israelites, because they're holy, and God's people, and to remain holy, that's what they had to do, I guess. Yeah. All the rules here are to keep the people holy, and for the coming of the prophet and the God Jesus. Marriage is sacred before God. It's not supposed to be broken. Also true. But it should account fairly for people that ignore the sacredity of marriage and does the bad things. God should look past and not be too harsh on those who have no control of their circumstances. So when he violates her, he has to stay with her or die. True. If she has to stay with him or he dies, then that's not her choice, is it? That's not her choice. But I guess the alternative under the laws of God is to be single forever. So it's be forced into a relationship with your assaulter, or be alone forever and never get to bear children legally under the eyes of the Lord. Anyways, enough about the horrid things of the Old Testament. Wow, we've made it to the end of another church. Wow. I think this is like session 15. This is like stream 15th session of the church of the kind of wild. And when God was teaching lessons through these verses, hence why Jesus came along and clarified love is what matters. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you for joining me today. Yeah, we'll see. I'll decide if that's what happened, okay? I'll decide when I read the book. Yes, read. Next week is reading. Next week is more reading. You're welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed today's sermon. Okay. Please enjoy the rest of your day and make sure you're doing no work on today, Sunday, God's day. But if it's no longer Sunday, then get back to work. Have a great rest of the Sunday, okay? Good night. I hope you enjoyed